Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be making birria tacos. I first saw this video about 3 months ago. It was like this taco truck in LA and they were eating tacos with the consomme and some onions and cilantro, and it looked amazing. And I now have been seen everywhere on Facebook. So I definitely want to try it. I am going to make my own today and hopefully you like this recipe and make it yourself. So the ingredients you will need are your meat. You need about 3 pounds of chuck roast. I'm splitting it up just because I had some ribs in my freezer, but in total you need about 3 pounds of beef. It's traditionally made with goat, but I'm not going to get a goat, so beef is fine. For your other ingredients, you'll need 1 onion, a bulb of garlic. I'm using chipotle peppers, but this is completely optional. I have a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of thyme, 2 bay leaves, half a teaspoon of ginger and half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of cumin. The chilies may be intimidating, but the actual birria won't be super hot. It's more flavored. So the prep is pretty easy when you're going into this. I went ahead and just cut this onion in half and took the skin off. And for the bulb of garlic, I just peeled all the garlic, but I kept them whole because you're just gonna blend everything later. For the chilies, you're gonna wanna de-seed them and of course take the stems off. They're dried already, but you can hear the seeds are in them and you need to take them out. So I usually just cut the tops off. I'll kind of stretch this guy out a little bit so I don't cut off too much of the chili. This chili smells so good. And you just open it up like an envelope and just take them out. See? Super easy and it's clean. So you're gonna need 4 anchos and you need about 5 Guajillo Chilies for your sauce. 3 Arbol chilies. 3. Next, I'm gonna go to the stove and I'm gonna sear off my meat. So now onto the stove, I'm gonna develop some flavor. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and sear off my onions. And I'm gonna throw the garlic in there too. After you get like a good nice sear on both sides, you're gonna go ahead and throw them in your deep bottom pot that you have to the side. So now I'm going to sear off my chuck roast. I salt and peppered one side, and I'll put that piece on the bottom so I can salt and pepper the side. And this is the pot I've been putting all my meat into. This is the chuck, the ribs, the onions, and the 2 cartons of chicken stock. I went ahead and poured that in here. I want to add in 2 more cups of water just to make sure that the meat stays submerged and water doesn't evaporate too much. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my chilies. So you want your chilies to hydrate before you make them into a sauce. So I'm gonna put them in with my meat. I'm gonna let them soak up the stock so I can blend them later. So you're gonna wanna let this sit for about 30 minutes just so they can rehydrate. It's been 30 minutes, I'm gonna take the chilies out, put them in a blender. You can also use a food processor for this, but it's easier with a blender. It doesn't have to be a fancy blender. And you want to take the chilies and the onions out because you're going to blend them all together. I'm gonna go ahead and add my spices. So I have the 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, the 1 teaspoon of oregano and 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of ginger, and the chipotles from earlier. I'm just gonna add, I'm gonna do 1. I'm just gonna put the top on. So after it's blended, should look something like that. So I went ahead and took some of the meat out. I'm just going to shred it up a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and do tortillas. So it took a really long time to cook. I came back after 4 hours and 3 White Claws and it was done. And the payoff it's actually worth it. So I feel like I have it all over my face. I hope you guys try this recipe. It is delicious. And feel free to mess with it. Put in more chilies if you want. Definitely don't skimp on the salt.